Hello and welcome to your natal chart reading. So first and foremost, I'm going to hide these controls because they really annoy me. Welcome to your reading and thank you for your patience. So what we are going to get into today is this cookie compass pie type thing, which is actually the script for your life because you have been meeting different names, races, religion, genders, and generally people or things from plant to animal over the course of hundreds or even thousands of years as your soul first separated from source with specific goals in mind. Your draconic chart, if you ever look into that, is actually a representation of what your soul originally came here to do in the first place. With this natal chart, which you're going to get an idea of, is the astrological design because we are made up of frequencies. We are like human radio receivers. And this chart is actually going to be explaining the ingredients that have been put in, like program, the channels that you attune to. As you have these amazing 12 pieces of the universe, which are the zodiac signs, streaming through you with the universe's goal of learning what is itself through different configurations of these energies. So with that being said, I'm going to be explaining your design, more or less. So first and foremost, you are taking the path, which is your ascendant, of the healer or the thinker, the person who came to be of service. This is volunteering. You should know that first and foremost. And we'll dig in deeper in a few to get into how you volunteer. But that's the path you'll be taking your whole entire life. This is somebody who's dictated by words, or you're really good with words, but you're also good at healing. And that could be physically healing because you have some of this Virgo energy in the 12th. That means you'd be really good at what is that, Reiki, or actually physically healing with your hands, growing things like healing plants and animals. With your words, because it's in the first house of who you are. Like you help other people with their problems, you help them organize and pull stuff together, and that's just innately what you do. Because that leads to this first house of self, who you are, your ego. And see, you don't have any planets here. And with any houses that you don't have planets in, don't worry about that. That just means that you have already achieved this energy, or you've already achieved this goal of self in this case, but you are using the energies from these planets to define yourself more. So you'll be learning through how you are of service, what you do in your day-to-day life, and your partnerships, because the other part of you is very, very invested in your partnership, which is always defining. Now, I think you are married. I'm like, didn't I do your soul contracts? And I'm like, it'd be really great to know if you were married because I see a lot of your chart is really based upon marriage. Look at how all your aspects are creating shapes, right? They're all leading to your marriage house, your partnerships, and the energies over here. And this house defines your house of self and how you feel about your identity and how far you're making progress on this journey. So this Libra energy of partnership, controlling the seventh house, goes to your second house, which means that a lot of your financial stuff comes through your partnership. But also, if you get into writing or literature, anything like that, artistry, working with animals or horses, that would be a great way for you to make money. But specifically in this life, your south node, which is what you have already done many, many times, but you are going to have to do first before you're able to move forward. And what is lining up for you or has been lining up since the time you were born. The first time your opportunity to move forward came at around 19 and a half, and it's actually coming back around this year and for the next 18 months for you to move into the upper level of energy. So for you, the lower level is you sort of having to work pretty hard for your money. You having to use your spidey senses, if you will. You are multiplying other people's wealth. Now, going forward, you're supposed to be earning your wealth, your values through what you have and multiplying that in a way that you sort of get to rest at ease. It's like you're developing your money through flipping it. This is real estate, stock market, taxes, inheritances, anything like that. But it's like somebody gives you a really good loan and you make some great investments or something like that. But we're going to get more into the business buildup of this also. Just want you to know that the majority of your wealth will come through your marriage and how you're able to move your or multiply your assets in time through banking. So that Scorpio energy of power goes to the third house of your communication. This is how you connect to people on a mental level, specifically your siblings and people you grew up with, everybody in a local area like 2 hours. So for you, you don't really talk. You're sort of mysterious. You don't really share a lot. But then there are times when this Sagittarius energy kicks in, and you're just like a ball of light. This is particularly around Christmas time. But that's your part of fortune. You meet the best, or you meet the most people, or you have the best engagements with the people I just listed during this time. But your communication is best received when you are in that area of being optimistic more so than closed off and observing here. Your Saturn here is here. That's your test, your contract, what you agreed to do. So you agreed to share this information with some people in a spiritual guru type way. That's part of your mission. I don't know if it's particularly help. It's actually your family. You're meant to share with them whatever you learn outside the family to help them expand, actually. Then that's great. Because it seems like you're the traveler of the family, the person who actually does big things, who can bring new ideas. And that's sort of what you're karmically charged with, which is what this vertex is, a karmic thing. You are bringing new ideas and philosophies and beliefs to your family line, which are making a radical change. Also, you are starting a family business. You have two different energies going here. You're going to do something that goes on for your legacy, which looks like it's a really important goal to you because your Mars, which is your whole drive, is in Capricorn in the fourth house. And the fourth house is of your family, your traditions, your roots, where you come from, who you are at your core. But also Neptune is here, which is where your karma goes into. So you'll be doing something that's based upon your creativity, your ideas, your self-expression as a business that you'll be able to create from home. And share. Maybe you'll teach about it online, or you'll teach about what you do at home, or you'll teach about families, or share your thoughts. But we'll get into that part more when we get to the top, because this Capricorn energy of your career, your legacy, goes into the fifth house of self-expression. Now, you don't have planets here once again, but your self-expression, or how you find comfort, like what activities you have for fun, or working and connecting with other people, networking, just so you know, that's really your thing. Learning and technology. So in the sixth house, being of service, this is important for you because this is the house that is guiding your chart. Once again, working with technology, or you connecting online is a part of your daily life, depending on what transit. But then also this Pisces energy, you giving back to people. This could also be you in film or music. And keep in mind, Jupiter is here. So the most expansion you get in your life is when you're doing a job that allows you to give away to other people, your creations of some sort, because this could even be photography, poetry. And this connects to where you're actually meant to meet your spouse, or what type of spouse you attract, which is really important once again for this chart, because all the planets here. This is Mercury, how your mind works. Something about your partner allows you to bounce things off of you. But also, why I feel it's important to mention, this is also the house of the public eye, how you are perceived by the world. So you'd be like a filmmaker, an avant-garde one, that or something of that nature with this going on here. But or like an amazing swimmer or athlete, a marine, something like that. But in your partnerships, you're very messing up my words, telepathically connected to your partner. And you also sort of just merge in your relationships. This could also mean that you marry somebody who is like dreamy, or somebody who's an artist themselves, somebody who's really, it could be also moody or emotional, but your value is in the house of partnership, but it's in yourself, like what you learn about yourself through your partner, or through healing or helping your partner, because this could also mean your partner has an addiction or something. Also, this energy here is the case. So the Aries energy of self, which controls your first house over there, also goes into the eighth house of debt, sex, taxes, inheritances. This is the house of Scorpio. So it's all sort of like the taboo, seedy stuff in life. But you've gone through a lot of difficult things. By yourself, they sort of made you a warrior with this energy here. Now, you see your North Node, which is what you're moving towards in this life, is in this eighth house, which is taking all of the sort of darker things that have happened to you and finding peace and finding a philosophy for that, because that sort of connects to how you're able to make your money. Something about taking everything that you learned before and finding the perfected, because you've been going through the same 12 cycles since you were 12. Over and over again. And by this point, you can see what the pattern is and how you work with your money, because money and your relationship with your value have really been themes in your life, and just figuring out who you are and what you need. So this Taurus energy of peace, the bull, the thing that is built over time, comes along with your knowledge. Like the ninth house is about your belief system, how you find out what really works for you in this life based upon your experience, right? For you, that was something that was done over time, and you're probably just coming into that with this way this is set up. But your Lilith, which is your dark and feminine energy, what sort of where you don't say no to anybody, is your belief through what you learn through through knowledge, through what you read, but it's also your womb. Like you don't want to share some stuff with some people you feel like maybe you didn't get enough education to share what you want to. But this has something to do with your emotions that have to do with your mom, because this is Chiron, your wound that is meant for you to overcome in order to help other people. For you, it's something about your education, something about foreign land, something about foreign travel, connecting to people where you come from, because all this energy here is working right against like your family house energy. So there's something about your past, but specifically your mom's family and what you learned, and you wanting to share what you have physically found, like what information you have to make some changes in the beliefs, uh, because that's really strong here, this energy coming here to that you're making a change based upon what you learn. So this Gemini energy of going from the student to the teacher is connected to your midheaven. And your midheaven is the highest part of the chart for you, the highlight, the peak of your life. And for you, it's like being a teacher, but also being a mom to people who don't have a mom in some ways, like the energy of being a caring person, but you'll be known because this is your career house, the one that controls your Saturn, your contract, which for you is in being like a philosopher, or somebody who's like a guru, or somebody who's really good at something specifically and able to teach other people about it. Um, it's really where you shine. This is Palace, which is your unique genius, and you have it in Cancer, which is things that make the home easier or families easier, like whatever you learned during childhood. All of that stuff is actually what you're going to be looking for, the things that you don't even realize that are special, that will make a difference to other people. Now, you don't have any plans in the 11th house, which is the internet, the collective, your soul tribe, but some of your like your family is there. Uh, like the people who you will be drawn to, and those that will be drawn to you possibly as clients or for whatever your business is, will be females and families, but also other creatives, other entertainers, possibly people in entertainment, people in politics, people in like royalty and stuff for this house of people that would be your clientele essentially. Now, this 12th house is empty, which is great because that's actually the house of karma that you owe. But then, since you don't have any planets here, you have to worry about the energies of these. And for these, in this 12th house of things that are possibly your undoing, if you don't pay attention to them, you have to watch out for your self-esteem, maybe not including yourself in your life sometimes when you're giving out so much to others. And this is particularly in relationships where you're dating or with your children, or analysis paralysis, as I like to call it, when you overthink everything so much that you don't really give yourself the time to achieve anything, to start to build in the first place. And these energies work against what you're meant to do in your day-to-day life. So it's always important for you to take some time with a group of people, with friends, with other people who can reflect yourself back to you. But then sometime like meditation or with music or creating something that makes you happy, like your spouse. And it's like really that's a super happy place. So I'm going to look down here for you at some of the configurations, because I know you mentioned that you went to an astrologer and they explained a lot of stuff to you, but it wasn't explaining how it plays out in your life. Your relationship with your mom was to teach you how to articulate yourself, especially when you went out into the world and connected with other people. Your relationship with your dad was designed for you to develop empathy. In this life, all of your values have been set by who you are in your partnerships. Like the way I was explaining was trying to show how they showed up for you. Now, this part here, this part just shows what your biggest lessons are, these configurations. Every one of these that's a square, let me zoom in a little bit here. Every one of these that is a square, right? That means that was a lesson. So you had a lot of lessons that came through your father, a lot that came through your mother, a lot of opposing energies that were sort of creating the type of person that you needed to be for the relationship that you were going to be in. And I say that because your son is in your 7th house. So there are going to be some similarities between your father and your spouse. However that plays out, that would be very interesting. If you had multiple spouses, the moon is in the 2nd house of your second spouse. So either way, your parental energy is very heavy here because you're dealing with a lot of family karma. This 4th house is of everything that has to do with your family. You're in charge of changing stuff in your family and then starting a whole new line with a business aspect that will create money that will ripple on going forward. Like this life is very heavy on the value. Um, But you see the trines, these triangles, right? These are representation of blessings you have, and your blessings are around the values that you have about yourself. Your Jupiter, where's your Jupiter? Right here in your daily life. Anytime yourself looks like you automatically receive back. Um, and your power, your Pluto, where's that at? You have the ability to sort of decipher in some way, shape, or form unconscious things in other people. Like you would understand when to work in a stock market, when to make bets on certain things. If you were a psychologist or a lawyer or a detective or anything, that would also be really great. You'd be an amazing what is the word I want to say? Politician, writer. I'm like, there's so many possibilities with this energy here because you can pretty much learn anything you put your mind to. It's like your friends set you up for your mind to be an amazing, vast tool. But the majority of your lessons have already been learned. And now at this point, you are going forward uh, to start to create wealth from what you already have. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I look forward to your feedback and discussing any further questions that you have.